like, so there was like a bit of a technical glitch as always. So yeah, if you can pretty much like summarize what you just said, right? So I'm here with Gabriel. He's from Venezuela originally. He started with e-commerce like 6 months ago. He's in our program called Brand Builders Academy, and he joined pretty much doing zero. Now he's doing 1.5 k a day with his e-commerce business. So I'll be here like pretty much chatting with Gabriel and asking him how he did it, all the challenges that he had to overcome in order to get where he is right now, and share it with you guys so you can succeed with your businesses as well. Gabriel, sorry for kind of like we had to like redo this, but yeah, if you can kind of like share your background story as well, the way you did.
Excellent, Alex. No, thank you for the introduction and also for the opportunity to bring the knowledge that I've gained in the past few months to the people that also want to learn and succeed on their own. So to start off, I'm originally from Venezuela, as Alex mentioned. I'm 24 years old, and I moved to the US around 5 years ago. I come from a very different background than e-commerce. So
What was your background?
I studied supply chain management
Oh
in
wow.
Drexel University in Philadelphia. I graduated
Uh-huh.
there, but although it's logistics, we none of my courses were related to e-commerce or drop shipping or anything like that. I was working for a corporate company in Miami before joining the course. It's called Starboard Cruise
Mm-hmm.
Services. Um, but I realized that I didn't want to be in corporate America. I wanted to be something of my own, where the effort that I put into the job is the reward that I'm gonna get, right? And
Mm-hmm.
also build knowledge, because at the end of the day, business can not go well, but if you build knowledge, you're gonna do better next time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's a little bit of my background. Um,
And how you discovered it? Okay, okay, so you're working like 9 to 5, and so you have this like kind of like frustration, like that. Fuck, I mean, that's not something I want to do. Like kind of like you kind of don't have a lot of like motivation for what you do, and so what do you do? Like you go on YouTube, like everyone else, and Google, and start exploring. Like how did you find out about e-commerce?
yeah, it was. Um, so I actually joined the course thanks to one of your ads. So I was months like thinking on I wanted to do something different, but I didn't know what.
Hmm.
I was one day, I remember I was scrolling through Instagram, and I had already had a meeting with another person that does drop shipping like a month or two ago. And I
Hmm.
remember that the course didn't sound so convincing to me, so I just left it like that. And one day I came up with one of your ads, and it was very engaging. And I got to meet with somebody from your team, and I started from there. I said, if I don't start now, I'm never gonna do it. So um, whatever happens is a step forward. So
Hmm.
I just started from there and put my 100% effort in it. I was working 9 to 5 when I joined the course. So through 3 months in the course, I was still working 9 to 5, and I was gaining so much knowledge. I was liking what I was doing also,
Hmm.
but I realized that I really, if I wanted to succeed in this, it was worth putting my 100% effort on it. So I decided to quit and put all my time into e-commerce. So so far it's been a great decision.
Nice, man. So how is that? I think that's overall like what you did is kind of like a hybrid, like where you don't just like obviously like starting a business, transitioning from 9 to 5, right? Especially that's what pays your bills is quite risky decision. So you did it in a kind of like in a hybrid way where you're still working 9 to 5, you're still doing what you need to do, right, in order to put food on the table, but then at the same time building your business to the point where the momentum kind of like overtakes and like, let's say you start making more money with your business, and it has momentum, and you're learning, and you're progressing, and you're evolving, and you're also enjoying it in the in the process, then it makes sense for you to just quit your job. So I think that's one of the models that people should like take advantage of, like with the abundance of opportunity, like different tools that we have access to. It is, for example, you can write copy with ChatGPT. It's time efficient, right? You can like build lenders with these like landing page builders that have all of the templates. That's also pretty easy. There's so many spy tools that allow you to find products. We'll talk about product research in a second as well, and how you found your products. But all of these tools will allow you to, even if you dedicate like few hours a day. How many hours would you say you were dedicating like a day into your business while still working 9 to 5, to get your business momentum?
So that's a good question. At the beginning, where it was mostly learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was dedicating, I would say, 4 hours a day in the learning phase.
Mm-hmm.
And, but then when it became more like doing what I was learning, I would try to spend more time, right? Stay up late at night, and also trying to make some space when I was at work, trying to leave early and stuff like that. But yeah, always trying to make at that point, I think my mind was focused so much on the e-commerce part that it was 24/7 thinking on it, right? When you're so into something, I feel like, and you're so into an idea, you're just hungry to get there, right? And I'm still learning, of course, a lot every day from my mentors. Help me a lot. I'm still learning, and I don't think, on my eyes, I haven't succeeded yet. It's a step forward, definitely, but I still have a long way there. Yeah.
Man, and it's so inspiring to see your journey. And I think part of your success, like even where you at, like it's kind of like how you see yourself too. Like as you said, it's like you don't feel that you have achieved like very high level, right? Because there is so much potential in e-commerce. There is so much potential for you, like personally, that you haven't even like realized. And it's very fascinating to kind of like observe your journey and like project, 2-3 years ahead, right? If you continue to put hours and work and energy, right? Continue being obsessed about this like for the next few years. Imagine what kind of things you'll be able to do. We have like one client actually. He's also from Venezuela, Jose Lepage. I don't know if you know him.
No,
Jose
I
Lepage.
haven't.
No. So I interviewed him. I think I interviewed him. Definitely interviewed him on my YouTube channel. So Jose Lepage, he's also from Venezuela. He moved to Miami like a few years ago, and he launched his e-commerce business brand. Branded the packaging. He actually ships products in the United States. He's here in Doral, like I don't know if you know, like in
I used to
so.
work at Dorado. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. I think it's a big community for Colombian people, for people from Venezuela, and so he's there. He's fulfilling his products. Last Q4, I think he did like $380,000 a day in sales. So he just accelerated his business to 8 figures in few short years. So looking at your journey, at what you have done in a short period of time, also while combining all of it like with your full-time job, like now with a full focus, you'll do some amazing things, my man.
Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully, yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Awesome. So okay, so you transitioned with e-commerce. Okay, so what were your first kind of like what you did, right? Like kind of like from the actions that you took. Okay, you went like and looking for products like spy tools and stuff like that, and also reflecting on those few steps, what you should have done, right? Or what you could have done better, right? In terms of the steps that you have taken initially.
Yes. Yeah, those are very good questions, Alex. So, yeah, to start off, we start product research is a big part of the whole process, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that the course focuses a lot on before building your store or starting your ads, you need to have a good list of products, because at the end of the day, the idea is not just focus on one product, right? You have a list of, let's say, 50, 100 products. You take your top 10 products and then you start testing those. It's a process, and
Mm-hmm.
you gotta enjoy the process and learn in the process. It's very important to be disciplined and constant in it, right? I think, yeah, being at the end, being your own boss, you're only depending on yourself. So it's very important to be disciplined and constant in it.
Mm-hmm.
So things that I maybe would have done different, I would say, is asking for help more often.
Mm-hmm.
So there were many times where I thought that I knew something or it looked obvious, for example, but it was the opposite. It was the opposite of what I thought. A product that might have looked good, it was oversaturated already, and I didn't know at the moment. I could have reached out to my mentors more often, and at the beginning, I didn't do it just because I was gaining knowledge and I didn't know what to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I see it, and I should have just asked
It's kind of like a,
whatever.
sorry for interrupting. It's kind of like you don't know what you don't know, right? Like at the beginning, it's that kind of stage of, and I think everyone goes through that stage, right? It's like you're trying to just like accumulate random information, and then over time, like you start connecting the dots and say, okay, you have the gap here. Okay, I have to fill it out. So now you can ask questions, and over time, you can ask even better questions because you know exactly and precisely where your problem is. It's like you're like a doctor. You can create like a very good diagnosis of the problem that you have, right? And then you can and obviously, our team was able to help you with some of those, right? To fill those gaps for you and help you um fill those. Sorry for interrupting. I'll be just kind of like commenting for people, kind of like to give some more like context and also for my own experience.
Yeah, no, of course. But yeah, it's a little bit of what you mentioned. At the beginning, since you don't know what you don't know exactly. Um, but every day, anyways, you learn something new. You learn something that you should have not done. You learn new product research skills. Yeah, it's you with the practice you develop better skills, and that's how it went. I remember I had a list of around 60 products, and before I started testing products, and the product that I'm working on right now, it's actually I think it was my fourth product that I tested. Right now, I keep working on the product research part because it's something that it's constant
Hmm.
and you don't know what you're gonna come up, right? You maybe find a winner out of nothing. So yeah, it's a process.
Awesome. And so, what any specific tools you use for product research, like any specific resources?
So my main companion was Mynia. I love Mynia. I think it's great to see the greater picture of all the ads that are going on in Facebook. After I had some idea of what I was looking for, I would always go to ads library in Facebook to see if their ads were actually performing, if they were duplicating their ads. It means that it's working for them. I also use a lot of tool called dropshipping.io.
Hmm.
It would help me to identify how much weekly revenue the different Shopify stores were making. So I would see the potential that the product could have in the case that I do succeed in it. And lastly, I would look into suppliers, right? How much is this product going to cost for me? For how much could I sell it? Try to compare with um, what other stores were doing and try to get the concept and the idea of what those stores and companies were doing and trying to make it an idea of my own, right?
Very cool. And so like, so 4 products you've tested, how much did you spend to test like each one of those products?
I remember my first product, I was also learning on Facebook ads. So it was like a playing phase, I would say, like see how the system works. And yeah, I probably spent $100. On my next 2 products, I spent like, yeah, like $200 tops. And on my last product, I always spend the same. I just got better results, and from them from there I have been creating different campaigns, trying to scale those, trying to target different markets. And yeah, you just learn what your customer likes. You see an ad that is working for you, and you mimic that ad into something new. You play with your offers. I noticed something that I didn't know at the beginning, but I noticed the importance of having a good offer. Offer meaning like your store and how it looks and what you offer to your customers. And for example, my ads in Facebook are not the best performing, but my offer in my store is working very well. So that's how I get to have a good profit margin.
Nice. What's your profit margin?
I would like to say like 20%. It used to be 30%, but the last week has been slower, the last couple of weeks. So right now we're sitting at around 20%.
Still pretty good. Still pretty good margin. Very nice. What niche you're in?
I'm on the beauty niche. You could say beauty and health niche. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite one, because there's just so many, it's never ending, and people always want to look better, people always want to be healthy, people want to eliminate pain, people want to eliminate certain things from their life, and you can be the one that delivers those to people.
Yeah, I'm excited because you're actually helping people, right? Solve a problem that they have, and you don't know how you're changing somebody's life, and that's great to know. And for example, with my product, I've had great feedback from customers and barely complaints, so that's been amazing.
Nice.
And also regarding my store's performance, I've heard from mentors and from people that I've connected that usually the beauty and health niche, they tend to slow down during holidays, and they tend to do better during Q1,
Yep.
Q2, Q3, because it's something that people need, right? They need it every time of the year. It's not like a gift that they're gonna give to somebody. It's something that they need on their every day. So right now people are spending on the holidays, but then when they're not, they're probably gonna spend on my product.
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to like managing your time right now, right? And because my thought process is this. Let's say, considering, so what you have done is phenomenal, right? Like in very short period of time, having that, initial traction with your store, getting to 1K a day is something that a lot of people want, right? It's something that, like many people who starting with e-commerce, that's what they want to achieve, right? They want to have that traction, they want to have that success. But at the same time, not everyone achieves it, right? So for me, it's like, okay, so if everyone has the tools, right? I mean, Shopify, you can get Shopify for free for like 3 months, all of the apps, all of the tools, they have like free trial, tutorials, they're very good tutorials on YouTube. You could probably figure it out. But at the same time, with all of that abundance of information, and there's also some misinformation, and there's like wrong information, right? So you have to be very like strategic about how you spend your time, because like, okay, so you have, let's say, you sleep 8 hours, like you eat, like you have some stuff to do. So let's say you have like between like 8 and 12 hours a day, right? If you do e-commerce full time, right? And before you were doing it part time, so you had even less time. So how do you spread your time, and how do you, like, what main activities do you focus on in your business right now, and also how that evolved over time? It's like, oh fuck, maybe I shouldn't have done this, or maybe I should, this was time waste, right? Like, so kind of like how do you look at this subject?
Yeah, I love how you touch at the beginning the like all the resources that people get provided, and how come some people succeed and how come some don't. I mean, at the end of the day, um, the course, for example, we get provided resources and everything we need to succeed, but the course is not gonna succeed for us. It's on us to succeed, right?
Mm.
So it is very important to know that. You have to be constant and disciplined, as I mentioned before. For example, from the first day, I told myself that I was gonna put hours into it every day after work, and after I quit my job, I wake up every morning 7 a.m. or maybe earlier, try to stay healthy. So for example, I start my day with a walk, open, try to open my mind in the morning, not go into the computer right away,
Mm.
maybe read something, have breakfast, and then at 9 a.m. is when I start working. I have the night before, I tend to make a list of things that I, not specific, but so that I have an idea of what I'm gonna do the next day, right? I try to be organized with every one of my meetings that I have, try to set schedules for what I'm gonna dedicate the time to. So, for example, tomorrow, let's say from 4 to 5 p.m., I'm gonna use that time to do product research. From 5 to 6, I'm gonna use it to answer to customers and stuff like that. So you gotta be very organized and constant. It's very important. Something that helps me a lot, and I believe it helps a lot of people also, it's working out. At the end of the day, you need escape from work, right? Work cannot be all your life. It has to be a complement of your life. So that's my thought process. So I also make time to work out so that my performance and my efficiency when I study e-commerce or work in e-commerce, it's gonna be even better. Yeah, I think those pretty much summarize my healthy habits. I would say I didn't read before. I didn't like reading. I would fall asleep or get distracted. But since I started this, and I know reading helps a lot, so I've started to read a couple of books now, and I'm making it a routine. And I learned that it's not that I didn't like reading; I didn't know what I like to read. So,
Mm.
uh,
Can you repeat that? Like, can you repeat that one more time? You,
yeah, I didn't know that I thought that I didn't know. I thought that I didn't like to read, but I realized that I didn't know what to read.
mm.
Yeah. At the beginning of the course is very important. The first part, it's a lot of motivation and telling us how the process is going to be like, and that we have to be tough and consistent and understand that we're going to make mistakes and understand that not every day is going to be a good day, because that's not life, right? It's a whole process, and there's ups and downs. And I think that's key to succeed on this program. And at the beginning, I didn't understand, but now I do. That sometimes there's good days and bad days. Um, Around a month ago, I remember I had a bad day once, and we have a community chat, and I read this in the community chat. Someone said, "I try to focus on the small wins, right?"
Mm.
And this has helped me so much on my motivation, because motivation is key when you're an entrepreneur, right? You're doing something of your own. And right now I just hold myself from the small wins and try to focus on that, on the positive side, than to focus on the negatives. And at the end of the day, that just changes your mindset and makes you more probable to succeed on your goal, right?
Mm. So good points. So good points, my man. Like, the way I'm thinking here is like you raise you raised a very good point, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's you, right? Like the person who does it. Like, you can have like the best information in the world, you can have the best like platform, you can have the best software, you can have the best tools. I mean, someone can give you like a winning fucking product. Hey, here's a fucking winning product, you know and then you give it to some people will go and like make $1,000 a day, then $10,000, then 100,000, and then you give it to some people, and like and then like they maybe try it, and then there's a bad day and they'll quit, right? Which is fascinating
Yeah.
which is even like fascinating to think. So let's say it was your product, like research process, like initially, how was it? You mentioned that the product that you decided to go with was more promising. Like, was it like super profitable, or was it just like, let's say, break even? Like, what kind of results you were getting like initially to move forward with that product?
Are you referring to the product that I have right
Yeah, yeah,
now?
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I actually uh, found a product with very good profit margin.
Uh-huh.
So, for example, it's like 4x. So pretty much the cost of the product is one fourth of the profit,
Mm-hmm.
the income that I get from the product. Um, I also saw some stores that were successful in the product, but I did see that there was potential to improve it,
Mm-hmm.
and still trying to let's say overtake the market for this product,
Mm-hmm.
right? Still working on it, but there's definitely a potential of improvement. There's some aspects where the competition was lacking,
Mm-hmm.
and and the ads look pretty simple to recreate the ads that these companies were using. So I mean, I just tried it. I learned how to edit videos on my own. It's something that I still do. I send my product to. I hire someone on Fiverr, for example. I send them the product. They take a few shots of themselves using the product.
Mm-hmm.
They give a review, and I edit all those to make my own ads. And it's been working for me so far. Um, yeah, I think the reason why I picked the product, honestly, I don't think there's a specific reason. It's just many things that made it a reason for me to use that product.
One thing you just mentioned that also, I'm trying to kind of like break it down for people how to think, and like you have many of the great like pattern recognition skills, right? This is something important to recognize. And also, even like what you mentioned about breaking down, okay, let's say you take your e-commerce brand, right? And first, I mean, you have to validate and you have to make sure that it's like, let's say if you want to model it, right, you want to replicate what they do, you have to make sure that they're actually making money, right? Because if they're not
Yeah.
making money, you're copying a loser, and you don't want to copy a loser, you want to copy a winner. Okay, so that part is taken care of, right? You're using these competitive tools, spy tools. You see they're advertising heavy, maybe they have hundreds of ads on ad library. So let's say you covered that part. Right now, you know for sure that you're following a winner. Now, as you said, you start breaking down their process. You start, okay, so how the lenders look like, right? Oh, how the ads look like, right? And maybe at the beginning you didn't know the difference between a good lender and a bad lender, right? But then as you're like in space, let's say even for a few months, right, and you start like getting obsessed about it, like you see more and more, and you see successful, and especially if you're in the community, right, you get better understanding of what, let's say, a good ad is, what a bad ad is, what a good lender is, and what the bad lender is. And so now, when next time you will see the product, even like the economics of it, right, which is also very important, you started from that, okay, 4x margin, smart, right? There's some people that pretty much start with some products, like let's say, oh, so I'm getting the product for like $30 and I'm selling it for 60, right? It's too tiny margin. I mean, it's hard to make it
Yeah.
work, especially on a scale. And so those kind of things in mind, it is fascinating how you break down, this kind of like complex subject, right? How to make e-commerce business work. Really? I mean, if you start breaking it down into like smaller parts, like, okay, there is a product, right? And product needs to fulfill all of these criterias, right? Product needs to have high profit margins, needs to solve a real problem, needs to be validated. Is there anyone crushing it with a product? Okay, cool. So now you kind of like boom, 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 check the box. We have this template. By the way, guys, I mean, comment template or just DM me template, and I'll send you the product research template you can use for yourself. That kind of like fills that. Okay, so the product is taken care of, right? So now there's only two things left to figure out. It's pretty much your ads, kind of like how you're driving traffic, traffic part, and then there's the funnel, the conversion part. Okay, you start breaking it down. Okay, what are the ads? Do I need video ads, or maybe just having nice image ads is enough, right? Let's say if you're selling a jewelry, there's some people doing very well just having like a very simple image ads. But if you're selling like a gadget, maybe you need like, and you need to explain it, and you need to kind of like break it down, and you need to kind of like, show different feature. You need to show product in use and how to use it and how it's different from other products. Then you definitely need a video, right? And then, do I need a 15-second video? Do I need a 30-second video? Or maybe do I need like a 3-minute video to explain this product properly? So, but you start recognizing, these trends. And I just noticed how you think, even after this very short time being in e-commerce, like, I don't know, maybe that's your logistics experience where you kind of like connecting the dots, and you're like, okay, so this goes from here. It's cheaper to send the boat from here to here. But it's fascinating how you're recognizing those, kind of like connecting the dots.
You just mentioned, for example, if maybe from my background, it's how I understand how it works. Of course, like going to school and everything made me more mature and think how I think right now. But as far as of technical knowledge, I think that honestly anyone could start from scratch on this. You don't need to have a background in something to succeed in this space. You just need motivation, discipline, and being constant. Um, in a computer, pretty much. That's everything you need, I believe.
That's awesome. And also sticking to the same opportunity for extended period of time, right? Let's say how most people think. Okay, so I test the product. Oh, it's not a winner. Oh, I test the second product. Like, same situation as you were. Like, second product. Oh, it's not a winner. Oh, third product. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, e-commerce is a scam. Let me just find another opportunity. Let me find like another, like eBay, Amazon, like, I don't know, agency. Like, there's so many like money making opportunities, and people always think that another kind of opportunity is better. But the only opportunity that's better is the one that you really focus on and you really figure out, because there are people killing it with agencies. There are people killing it with Amazon FBA businesses. There are people doing very well with e-commerce. There are people doing very well with like trading, right? So it just comes down to what you focus your attention for extended period of time, and also overcoming those challenges where, as you said, you're testing 3 products. Yeah, obviously it's frustrating. It would be frustrating for anyone. It just like over time you learn that partially, I mean, success in every game is just a numbers game. It's like statistics, right? I mean, if you do it consistently for months, like if you do it consistently for months, and every day you're learning something, every day you're improving, every day you're connecting the dots just a little bit better, there's no fucking way you will not have, like, it's just like statistically like very hard. Like, I don't know, maybe you're unlucky, but that's like another topic.
Yeah, you definitely have to trust the process. I believe people like to make excuses, or they don't like to take risks. And you cannot miss a shot that you don't take, right? So you have to try and fail and try again. And I think that's part of the process. It's something that I told myself since I started the program. There were many friends, people that told me, no, don't join that. It's a scam and stuff, because people like to believe what's easier to believe, right?
Mm.
And maybe I thought, no, if other people can do it, why couldn't I do it, right? And I just put the effort in it, and yeah, I'm still thinking that way. As I mentioned, maybe my product now doesn't work in a month, but I'm gonna have the knowledge that I have now and work on a new product or in something bigger, right? So that's the idea, pretty much.
100%. And you will see any successful founders, any successful, entrepreneurs, they usually had few projects that didn't work out, right? Few projects that failed, few projects that you know, even Elon Musk, like the SpaceX, the companies that's now worth like over $100 billion, like it's almost like failed. Like it was this close, right? So how can you saying that like because people have these unrealistic expectations coming into business, right? Oh, it's like I just launched a product, I just like sit down and like, yes, maybe like after 6, 12 months, 24 months, after you get good, you hire good people, then you can sit down. Maybe it's like you have more leverage, you have more skills, you have more capital, right? But initially, you have to fucking grind. And initially, it won't be easy. Initially, like first few months will be like most likely will be difficult, and you will have to go through like mostly mental, right? What you said about just maintaining your body in a top state, right? Like going and working out, walking, not getting exposed to screens first thing in the morning. So important. So good point you mentioned there, because you become reactive. Okay, you look at like a Shopify, maybe the sales are not good. Oh, now you're depressed. Now you're like, oh, now you're frustrated. Now you're reactive, right? It's all right. Dedicate that. Give yourself that like 30, 60 minutes. Go for a walk. Think about your goals. Visualize. Like whatever you need to set your mind right for the day, and just be ready to accept those challenges that come your way and just accept them as part of your journey. That will be like, you keep doing that for like for 1, 2, 3 months, it becomes a habit, and then you're unstoppable.
Yeah, no, it's you gotta come up with a plan that is sustainable, right? It's not sustainable to be on your screen 18 hours a day, right? You won't be able to last like that for months. You gotta come up with something that is sustainable, maintains you healthy and motivated. Yeah, I think that's super important. Also, 6 months have passed since I started, and time flies, man. Like I cannot believe 6 months have passed already, and so it might sound like a lot, like it took me 6 months, but thinking that I started from scratch and I am where I am right now, having this conversation with you. This is those one of those little wins that I hold myself to, and yeah, I see in a year from now it's gonna be like tomorrow. So don't be afraid to like don't think things come up from one day to another, because that doesn't happen. That's not unless you win the lottery.
Yeah.
Uh, but processes take longer, and don't be afraid to hear, oh, this takes months, because at the end of the day, a few months pass like this.
Man, like this last weekend we went with a team to UFC fights. Like
Okay.
in Las Vegas, like there was a good card, and fascinating, right? Like the whole fucking arena booked, like everything is like on point. I mean, the tickets sold out. There's, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people watching from home, like, so very successful, right? And the whole organization, the UFC as a company, it's a multi-billion-dollar company, right? I don't know exact valuation, but it's in billions of dollars, right? But
Yeah.
then, okay, I was just watching the documentary. There's these like very cool documentaries on YouTube. The guy basically breaks down, different companies, different successful people, and he's like how it started. And there was fucking nothing, right? There was like a fucking cage, and they were fighting each other. It was not like, it didn't even allow them to fight. There's like, they had to get like approved in different states and stuff like that. So many fucking challenges, right? And it's only like fucking 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. That was like 1992, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken, but let's say 20, 30 years. 20, 30 fucking years to build something sustainable, you know? Because people like, I mean, they browse Instagram, and then someone like rides a Lamborghini. They want Lamborghini like fucking now, right? They want like, oh, today I start like e-commerce business. Tomorrow I want to be like a millionaire. I want to drive Lamborghini. I don't want to do shit. You know, I just want to go on vacations all day long. You know, so having those expectations aligned, like if you really want to make it happen, you will make it happen. There's no way around. Like if not this way, you'll find this way. If not this product, you'll find another product. If not this funnel, you'll find another product. If not this ad, you'll find another ad. There's no fucking way you will fail if you just consistently hammering at it. But it's important to set your expectations right. It's important to just like know what you're getting into. It will be hard. It won't be easy. But now think about it. Let's say 6 months you're on this journey, right? Now you're getting better understanding. Now you're getting like better, kind of like, okay, how things connect together. As you said, project it 1 year from now. If you continue at this, right? You continue at this. Now you're doing 100, 200, 500K per month, right? Projected 3, 4, 5 years. Now you have a business that actually like exitable. Like you can exit the business for multiple $1 million, if you move in this direction. And like, if you work like 9 to 5, there is, I mean, yeah, you might get a raise like once a year, right? But it's like that. It's like, and then you work like 40 years and there nothing happens. Yeah. So yes, it's hard. Yes, there's a lot of challenges, but like you commit to it like 5, 10, 20 years. Like, I mean, 5 years. I think 5 years, like if you really go fucking in like 5 years, you can do so much fucking damage. And I've seen it, like in my own life. I mean, 5 years ago, like I was, like lost, and seeing our clients, going through BBA, going through ESS, like seeing their progressions, doing millions of dollars per month. This last week, I interviewed our client, Andrew Payne. He joined like in 2021. He's a bit older. He's like, you're 24, he's like 35. So it's like you have like 10 years, 10 years on him, and I'm old too. But he is, he had the, like in 2021, he made like, I don't know, he made like $2 million. Nothing significant, barely profitable. This year, he's already made like, I mean, we chatted 1 year ago, one week ago. He's already made $50 million this year in revenue. Like about 7-8 million profit. Those kind of numbers, like fucking insane. But I mean, what it requires is fucking sticking at it, right? Surrounding yourself by better people, getting inspired. I mean, if someone can do it, like I can fucking do it too, right? It's like, okay, it's not, it's kind of like not rocket science. It's like you break it down into smaller parts and then you figure it out. So, but it's fascinating to see your journey and what you've been able to do. As you said, it's like 6 months, but I'm excited to see like the next year, 2 years, like fucking that progression, man. That is just fascinating to observe.
Yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to it also. Yeah. I also like, I don't know how many businesses are like this, but the financial barrier of entry, it's very low, I would say. So for every business you make, let's say, I don't know, like a restaurant, for example, you only see profits after your first year. I don't know. So right here, the entrance to, for example, for me, what it took me, like I took what, like 500, less than $1,000 in losses before I found my product that was actually starting to create profit for me. So I don't know if any other industry is like this, but this one really gives the opportunity, for example, for young people to join or and stuff like that. Yeah.
For sure, my man. And like, let's say Amazon FBA, you want to commit to Amazon FBA. If you want to do it right, that's like $40,000-$50,000. You have to buy the inventory. You have to do the proper research. You have to brand your products. You have to bring them from China. You have to send it to Amazon, right? So like compare, as you said, especially like if you don't have a lot of capital, right? Do this. There is TikTok organic. right? There's TikTok organic. We have Paul Freeman in our community. You probably know, like he's in BBA as well. I don't know if you guys connected. Like he's I mean, I chatted with him like 1 month ago or even more. And so far this year, since May, I think he made about, if I'm not mistaken, from May, like not even the whole year, he's made like 170 or something like that $1,000. But his profit margins are like 50% or something like that. Yeah. So because it's TikTok organic, he doesn't pay any
Yeah.
money for ads and stuff. And I think he's done even better by now. So let's say $100,000, like pretty much from May, like profit, like clean. And so that's organic. That's not even like, so even less amount of risk, right? So whatever kind of like level of risk you're comfortable with, I think e-commerce, e-commerce, like drop shipping, like, launching your brand, like validating with drop shipping, creating like a proper brand, proper packaging is one of the most like efficient models in that sense.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've also I gotta learn on TikTok organic. It's something that I haven't been doing, but yeah, I gotta get into TikTok.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm gonna work on.
Awesome, man. So what's your plan? Do you want to expand within the same niche? You want to add more products, or do you want to test products in different niches? What's your goal?
And that's a very good question, Alex. So right now I have a few different focuses. I wanna improve on my understanding of Facebook ads. It's something that I want to work on. As I mentioned before, my ads performance are not the best, but my offer is great, so that's how I get profit. So I want to learn more on Facebook ads and also on TikTok ads and Google ads. I want to get into,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to expand the product that I currently have, and also see if I create a new store with a new product. Right now, the product that I have is not branded yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I've already started the process of making a trademark on it, and I'm gonna work on actually printing my brand into the product. So that's the whole point of BBA, right?
Yeah.
It's not just regular drop shipping. And maybe you guys see it in many courses, regular drop shipping. You have a product that works for you for a couple of months, you drop it, you find a new product. That's not the idea. The idea is to build a brand behind the product that you have already validated and worked on after some weeks or a couple of months. So that's what I'm gonna be working on right now. I wanna also I've started to test already new complementary products to increase the average value of the customer's order, so that the average value means they spend more every time they join my store, and so to increase my profits as well.
Nice.
That's what we're gonna work on in the next couple of weeks, month. Yeah.
Nice. Good stuff, my man. And one of the things, and for you guys watching as well, that you can try for like validating products. I don't know, maybe you already do this, but let's say if you're on Shopify and you're using like one-click upsell, just have those products that you want to sell or you want to test, just set them up as upsells, like one-click upsells. So this way, I mean, you're already getting buyers, you're already getting traffic there, right? And you can test, let's say, 2 different products, and you will see which one of them converts better, complementary to your main product. This way, and you don't even have to have the product. It could be just like an image, like Photoshopped. We do this all the time. And let's say we validated it. We want to like order that product. We just refund all of the orders, whatever, like few orders like that we want to see. But we want to see the numbers. We want to make our decisions based on data. And that's probably one of the kind of like cost efficient, time efficient, energy efficient ways to do that.
No, it's great that you mentioned, for example, the upsells. I think it focuses on the idea that every day you learn and new stuff and new techniques to improve your sales and get more customers. And I know nowadays customer acquisition is very important. So I'm also working, I forgot to mention, working on improving my email campaigns. to yeah, I want to have the customers engage with my brand so that they know my brand. So let's say next year I have a Black Friday sale or something like that, and they remember my brand, right?
Mhm.
And that's the idea, to build a relationship with the customer.
Man,
And yeah.
such a good focus, such a good focus, and yeah, it's impressive what you have done in just like 6 months, and I'm very, very excited to observe your journey farther. Um, and what advice would you give to people that, I don't know, like maybe like working 9 to 5 jobs, like maybe not super excited about them, like kind of like thinking about e-commerce, but like, there's too much work, too much risk. Like, what do we say to those people?
um, I would say, for those people that work in 9 to 5, that was something happening to me, that you think every day, oh, I could be doing something different or whatnot. I feel that if you don't try it, you're gonna be 10 years where you're at now, maybe in a better position, doubling your salary or whatnot. But you're always maybe gonna regret that you never tried it. So if you have the motivation and you trust in yourself, I would say go for it. You don't have to quit what you're doing. You don't have to stop bringing food to the table. And you can start like how I started, from 9 to 5, and then if you see that things are going well, you go 100% on it. But don't just say no to something because you're afraid to try. And I would say go for it and test yourself and trust yourself. Yeah.
So this is what happened to you, right? Because you mentioned a very good point that not everyone from your friends kind of like circle supported like that you wanted to, get into e-commerce, like invest into like, education, and to actually become better at that particular topic. So how did you process that, and what were like, because so many people would be stopped by this, right? Let's say you have your circle, you're drinking beer, whatever, like, and the friends telling us, it's a bullshit. Like, you entrepreneur, like, what the fuck you talking about? You're not entrepreneur. Come on, like, like you starting e-commerce. Like, what do you want to sell? Like condoms, like, you know. And so, it's fascinating. How do you overcome that belief?
Um, Well, I think so. Even though there were people that doubted, there were people that did support me. For example, my parents were very supportive. And it's not that people didn't trust in me. I think of myself, and I think that people think of myself as a very capable person. I believe it was more, yeah, on the idea that they didn't trust e-commerce, for example.
Hmm.
um, you mentioned before that people do different things, and at the end of the day, not everyone can succeed in the same thing. But you just, yeah, if you trust on an idea and if you're convinced on it, you've made your research, of course. Don't go and follow things to follow them. Do your research and trust on what you're gonna do. If you do, like, trust on yourself and on your own judgment. If people support you, that's great, and if they don't, they're gonna see you succeed in in the next months, and you're gonna make them wrong, right?
Hmm. Yeah, it's a fascinating topic, right? The social pressure, and kind of like how people, especially like in the working environment, like 9 to 5, it's very uncomfortable for them too. Let's say, you're having a conversation and you say you will start a business, and they say like, it's a bullshit, and you still start it and you succeed at it, right? Now that will hurt their ego, right? Because they said, oh, it's like, oh, I didn't think he will do it, but he actually did it, and I didn't do it. So now it's like kind of like, so it's kind of like hurts their ego, right? And so that's what's important to realize, that not everyone not everyone is even like qualified to give you advice on many topics. Like, let's say you want to get like in shape, you wouldn't take advice from someone who's fat, right? You want to start a business, you probably don't want to take advice from someone who's never started a business or who never been successful in a business, right? Maybe who quit, like maybe who started the business and quit when the first challenges started to show up. You don't want to take advice from those people. And sometimes those are the people that very close to us, like friends, sometimes family. And so just something that's important to realize, because let's say you want to help your family, let's say you want to support your family, you want to retire your mom, you want to retire your, I don't know, your grandma, you want to buy a house for them, right? And even though they might be telling you that, that maybe this is, sometimes they're supportive and this is amazing, but even if they're not supportive, but you still want to help them, you have to fucking do it, because otherwise how you'll buy them a house? There's no fucking way. Or how you will retire them if you will not take that risk, right? And it's risky it's risky initially. It's time, energy, money that you have to invest in order to make any business work. But then over time it starts to show up, and it's all worth it.
Yeah, no, I believe it's one of those tough decisions in life. Yeah, in life you have tough decisions, and then that is one of those, sometimes going against what people close to you recommend you. And yeah, those tough decisions are the ones that make a change in your life, hopefully for the positive. But whatever happens, I believe in any risk you take, you're gonna learn something out of it. So you get an opposite side, the positive side of the results, right? If you fail, you shouldn't focus on the fail part. You should focus on why you failed, learn from that, and use it as fuel for your next venture. Yeah.
100%. My man, thank you so much. You're such an inspirational character, like going through that journey and sharing it with me right now. And a lot of the things in your mindset are very, as you said, like very mature, like very, like what you're getting into, the journey you're at, what you have to do, and you're actually doing it, right? So with that mindset, there is no fucking questions. You'll get to like 7 figures, 8 figures, no fucking questions about it. Like you just keep grinding at it. And we have another conversation. I always like set up another like interview, another call. Like when you hit 100K per month, we have another call.
Excellent, Alex. No, thank you very much for your good wishes and for the opportunity. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And yeah, hopefully, I hope to be here next time when I make 100K a month.
Let's do it, my man. Let's do it. How do people connect with you, by the way?
And yeah, you connect with me. You can DM me to my Instagram. It's at Gabriel Brum 99. So it's GABRIEL BROM 99, and you can DM me there on my Instagram.
Nice. Yeah, I'll pin it here. So yeah, if you guys want to connect with Gabriel, here's here on IG. And Gabriel, thank you so much, my man, for joining me. And yeah, wishing you all of the best. Not even luck, but just keep doing what you're doing and you'll get what you want, my man.
Excellent, Alex. Take care. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Gabriel. Talk soon.